let's get right into it. First of all, if you are a new grad nurse, I want to say congratulations. This is a huge accomplishment. I don't even think you realize you finally made it into your career. You have so many things to celebrate. First of all, you have finishing nursing school. I remember when I had to take my comp predictor, my ATI comp predictor, the first attempt I failed and the second attempt was the next gen. So I was so scared and nervous, but I passed, and that's a huge thing to celebrate, is just finishing nursing school. Second, you have your actual graduation to celebrate. Then you have your pinning ceremony, which is a separate day, separate event, separate celebration. And then of course you have passing NCLEX, obtaining your actual license, and then you have your first RN position. Like, those are 5 major things that are about you and your accomplishments. Please do not let anybody take that away from you. I have my very closest friend, she finally finished nursing school, she obtained her license, alhamdulillah, and I just had to make sure that she realized these are separate accomplishments that are amazing, that you just have to take time to enjoy and appreciate. Men and women, because both genders are in nursing. And then of course, if you're a mom working, getting through nursing school, like, that's another accomplishment. Like, I had a mom who was my classmate. She was working, she was married, but she was like the only income at the time. Her husband got hurt and she didn't even fail a class. She never had to retake any of her classes, and then she passed her NCLEX first attempt. So moms are so amazing. You got this. Like, you're so close, and if you've made it, congratulations. Another thing that I wanted to shed light on is that I created this channel because when I was in nursing school, or aspiring to enter nursing school, doing my prerequisites, I was looking for YouTube channels, I guess influencers, to explain what nursing school was like, what it entailed. I was actually like trying to find somebody's journey to follow, and I found nothing like that. I found a video of a girl going to her nursing school orientation, and all she really focused on was her outfit that she wore and a couple papers that they handed out. So that's what really inspired me to start this YouTube channel. And then alhamdulillah, like, I reverted to Islam, and then I put the hijab on and I had to take down my videos. So I've always said, whether I help 5 nursing students, 5 nurses, or 500, it doesn't matter, because this is essentially my journey that I just want to share with everybody else. Another thing that I wanted to say is, please do not compare your journey with everybody else. What I cover in this video is, like, take it with a grain of salt. I'll probably make a comment about the general nursing population, the general nursing student population, but not everybody's journey is the same. Please don't ever compare yourself to the next person, because we all will get there eventually, and not every journey that you see is right for you. So if you didn't get that job offer, if you thought you did great in this interview, maybe they saw something that probably didn't really match, and they did you a favor. So just don't compare yourself, and then don't be too hard on yourself. Nursing is the one career path that we are our own worst critic, and it's so difficult to not be burnt out from that. Okay. Alrighty, next part of the video, we're going to talk about what nursing actually looks like. I also was having a difficult time finding resources and YouTube channels that actually explained, okay, what's next. So you've obtained your license, whether that be RN, BSN, you graduated, and now you're going to work. So now you put in your applications, you're looking for a position. The number one tip that I have is, if you've done a clinical rotation in nursing school, or if you've seen something and you have a passion for something, please go for it. If it's ICU, I don't think anybody really wants to do med surg right after nursing school, but if it's med surg, do it. If it's ER, do it, apply. And at the same time, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. Just because you're a new grad nurse doesn't mean that they're gonna look at your application differently than the next person. They are aware, hospitals are aware that there is a certain part of the year that all of these nurses are graduating. We have fresh nurses, they want to hire. They just want to hire. So it is in your best interest to make your resume outstanding and stand out from the next nursing student. For example, I did cardiac ICU for my preceptorship, and then I also did NICU as well, neonatal ICU. So even though I don't have like actual experience, I had clinical hours in ICU. So that's one example that you can fluff up your resume. I have specific nursing school hours in this specialty, and this is why I feel like I would be a great fit for this unit. So please, if you don't need 2 years of experience in anything to, you know, go into a specific specialty. If you want to do ICU, if you want to do neonatal ICU, it's very, very competitive, but go for it. Don't waste your time, especially if you believe that you need to do 2 years of med surg in order to go to ICU. That's absolutely false. Every good older nurse will even tell you you'll develop bad habits. You'll get burnt out, and you won't even want it anymore. You'll just not want to do nursing at all. So yes, what does nursing look like when you actually graduate? So you apply, you put in all the applications that you can in all the positions that you are interested in. I remember my recruiter telling me that it was in my best interest to not just apply to ICUs, that I should probably look into acute care, and I said absolutely not. It also helps, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. So if you do know somebody who works at a specific hospital in a specific unit and you want to get in, or you think that it would just help you out in the long run, do it. Just it doesn't hurt to ask, hey, like, can you put in a good word for me? Or can you say, hey, I know this person, they're putting in an application. It does not hurt, because it is so true. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Another thing is, if you graduated with your BSN, that's amazing. But if you're like me and you broke it up into two, ASN, BSN, I wouldn't wait longer than 6 to 7 months before starting your bachelor's degree. Just get it out of the way, because you don't want to be 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, and you're like, hey, like, I want to progress in my career, but unfortunately I have to get my bachelor's first. Now, there are some programs where you can do everything online, 3 to 6 months. It's super cheap. That's great. But if you are a new grad nurse, you're 6 months in, you finally get the gist of nursing, apply, get it done. If it takes you 1-2 years, it's not a big deal, because you're going to be working full-time anyways, and it really is a BS degree, so it's not going to be as overwhelming as cramming it in 3 to 6 months. That's just my personal advice. I got the gist of nursing. Once I hit 6 months, I was like, oh my gosh, that went by so fast. Somebody who started nursing on the same unit as me, I kind of used her as like a motivation. She started maybe like 1 or 2 months ahead of me, maybe even 3 months. She was in like a different like cohort than me in nurse residency, which I'll cover that. So she actually started her BSN, and when she started her BSN, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to start looking into what it is that I actually have to do for my BSN. Like, do I even need a prerequisite for it? So it does sneak up really, really fast. A little bit about nurse residency. A lot, and probably the majority of hospitals, especially teaching hospitals, will have what's called nurse residency. And that just means that you are a new grad nurse. You've never had a nursing position before. And so I worked at 2 hospitals, and at both hospitals, it's 1 year. You meet once a month. I met once a month, and then we had these groups based on what specialties we worked in, and we had to work on a project throughout the entire year. We attended a 4-hour class once a month. It consisted of maybe 2 to 3 hours of lectures. They do like PowerPoint slides. They cover anything from burnout, their hospital, how you can progress in your career, what opportunities they offer, just a whole bunch of presentations. And then of course you have like a residency project. And like I said, I met once a month for 12 months. That's another accomplishment. You finish 1 year of residency. That's amazing. You stayed you stayed in nursing for 1 year. You stayed with the same hospital for 1 year. That's an accomplishment in itself. So yes, nurse residency, it's really not that big of a deal, and if anything, it kind of provides a sense of community for new grad nurses to get together, especially in the same specialty. Start a group chat, and then you have peers that you can refer to on pretty much anything. At the same time as trying to figure out nursing, you have orientation. So I attended a 16-week orientation on my unit because I started off in critical care and I had no critical care experience prior. I had to attend echo modules or echo classes, and then I had to do echo modules. This basically covered all critical care learning. I did that for about 4 hours a day. I think we did it once a week for maybe 10 weeks. And yes, finishing that, another accomplishment. With that, they just want to make sure that you are prepared to take care of critically ill patients. So trying to figure out residency, how to be a nurse, you know, navigating through orientation, what is it that you're supposed to be learning. There's a lot of things that can feel discouraging. I was definitely discouraged the whole time of orientation. I felt like I was never going to be ready to be off orientation. I felt so incompetent. I always felt incompetent. I've always felt like I needed to work harder in school to understand grasp concepts. And then I was never the greatest test taker. So periodically throughout orientation, we would be handed these like mini quizzes just to make, you know, knowledge check. It was no pressure, but I literally answered questions that made zero sense. Like I don't know. And I wish I had somebody as a resource like this YouTube channel to explain to me what to expect on orientation, what's expected out of you in orientation. You're not gonna know how to be a nurse until probably not even like 3 years down the line, because you're still considered a novice nurse, like 2 years in. So it's okay. If you do need an extension, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Always communicate with your clinicians, but I always definitely felt like I was not getting it. I was not liking the patient population. I was not happy from the beginning at all. I think the fact that I've always had my heart set in neonatal ICU, and the fact that I didn't get it, it kind of put like a hinder on my progression through my nursing career. I had no desire to study my patient population. So I came from a vascular ICU. I had this hematology book that explains what kind of invasive access is used to hemodynamically monitor these patients. Hemodynamically monitor mean, you know, blood pressure, monitoring them, monitoring their cardiac output with these invasive lines. I had no interest in studying anything, and people would ask me if I was studying, and I was, if I had a patient who had something specific that I didn't understand. That's what it is that I was studying. I was not overwhelming myself with studying because I didn't even know how to be a nurse. So why would I overwhelm myself with all of this critical care information on this patient population when I don't even know what a nurse is? And then of course, if you work night shift, you don't really have that many like manager resources, clinical like clinicians to refer to, because night shift is just keep them alive until 6:59, 7:59, whatever it is, 7:05. So yeah, I definitely regret a little bit not studying, but at the same time I didn't really know like what was next, and that's what I'm here for. So we finished discussing residency. Residency, you meet once a month. It's just because you're a new grad nurse, and it happens over here. Clinical ladder. So they push clinical ladder in hospitals like there's no tomorrow, and it's a great opportunity for you to progress in the hospital, get more pay, attend classes that they offer in order to get more experience, in order to get like more certifications being like you can use an ultrasound to place an IV, like little things like that. on top of doing residency your first year, and then you have to do monthly or bi-monthly meetings per your unit, and then sometimes you have annual hospital meetings, and then if you work night shift, it's trying to navigate night shift. I had no desire in getting any of my paperwork ready to climb a ladder that was going to get me not even 20, I don't even know how much. I'm sure it adds up over time, but I just had no desire in progressing using this clinical ladder that they offer. The hospital that I'm at now, there's only 3 pay tiers, and I'm already at 2. And in order to get to 3, I have to be there for 20 years. So it's great. There's no pressure in clinical ladder, but there's no room to grow. So I feel like orientation and how to be a nurse is a great topic, and I can go more in depth, but this video is more so of my journey in what's next for me and for nurses who are like, what's next? So that really stems from the conversation where I brought up getting your BSN as soon as possible, because that's going to open many, many doors for you, and it's kind of like a step further into what's next. I always thought once I decided nursing, neonatal nurse practitioner was the way that I was going to go. So of course, RN, BSN, and then you get your master's degree and you become a nurse practitioner. The problem with that is once I became a nurse and started working in vascular ICU, I actually saw what a nurse practitioner does. And at that point, I didn't even need a shadow shift to get a full perspective of what it was that entails in being a nurse practitioner. Now, nurse practitioners are everywhere. They're outpatient, they're inpatient, they're doing Botox, they're doing bedside procedures. There are so many things you can do with your nurse practitioner, but we're going back to what my original goal was, which was neonatal nurse practitioner. When I was working in vascular ICU, I had overworked and probably underpaid nurse practitioners working at the bedside with me, and that is not what I wanted for myself. I knew for a fact that I was like, NNP is the only way that I will ever become a nurse practitioner. I have no interest in getting my master's degree and becoming a nurse practitioner and working inpatient with adults. I have no desire in opening my own practice. I don't want to do injections. Like, it's just not what I want to do. I only want to be an NNP. That's it. I had no interest in becoming a CRNA, which is what pretty much everybody on my unit was interested in doing. I think I did have a couple people who were interested in doing their NP at that time, but like I said, I already scratched that unless I was in NICU. CRNA never piqued my interest. I thought it was absolutely boring. I thought I was gonna be so bored with my life. I never entered nursing for the pay. I wanted to take care of people. I wanted to help people. But I was already not having compassion fatigue, but I was already getting to a point of burnout with never getting a thank you when I really did my best trying to take care of my patients. I was so miserable in my patient population. So I said, why would I want to sit there and really just put a patient to sleep during during a procedure, and like that's it, no patient interaction. The patient population is the same. Like I just had no desire. I had no desire to go through a 3-year program. I hate school. I really do. I hate nursing school. I don't feel smart enough for anything else. Like, why would I do it? And then I got this NICU opportunity, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Alhamdulillah, like I'm in the specialty that I've always wanted. And yes, I absolutely love it. I love the patient population. I've gotten way more thank yous than I can ever ask for. I would have ever imagined getting. The families are amazing. You would think that families in pediatric or NICU were the worst. But there's good days and there's bad. Not every personality mix, but I haven't gotten fired. And I've gotten so many thank yous. I've had 2 families ask me to primary, and I love it. I'm very, very happy. But I don't want to do NNP anymore, because at the end of the day, in my perspective, an NNP is just an overworked and underpaid MD. And that's what they're being used for. And it's very unfortunate. If you're inpatient, it's very, very hard to find a position where you're actually compensated and you're actually happy. And I thought that NNP was something that I wanted, and it's fine. You know, you work your whole life thinking that this is something that you're gonna do, and then all of a sudden you have an opportunity and you're like, this isn't for me anymore. So with that being said, I have considered all possibilities. I've considered going to med school and becoming a neonatologist so that I'm at the top of the care plan, because I am tired of being a registered nurse. I'm tired of not being able to advocate for my patients. I'm tired of being looked at like I'm incompetent, and I'm tired of being looked at as if I don't know what I'm talking about, and I have no way to properly advocate and suggest safety in a way that I'm heard and interventions are being implemented. So that's why I was like, I'm going to med school, I'm going to be a doctor, that way I'm at the top of the care plan and I have a say in what happens to my patients. But I don't want to do med school. So we are left with CRNA. We are left with the journey starts with looking for a school and then looking for a program. I'm actually very excited because when I was first making my YouTube channel, I did have a video that was helpful in looking for a nursing school or how to choose a nursing school. So now I'll actually be able to show you know, this new journey, and I'm very excited to share it, and hopefully it helps you know, aspiring nurses, new grad nurses, and experienced nurses. I started looking at the requirements for my local university, which is very, very competitive. Everybody goes there. I've never attended this university. I've always wanted to, but I always ended up going to a community college / state college. I went to private school or a private university for my associates, and then for my bachelor's I went back to my state college, which used to be a community college, so a cheaper route. This university requires a bachelor's degree in science of nursing from a CCNE or ASN accredited university or college, a minimum 3.0 in nursing specific GPA. Of course, your graduation or your graduate application. They want courses with a B- grade or lower to be retaken in anatomy and physiology, statistics, chemistry, pathophysiology, and pharmacology. So you should have taken pharmacology, you should have taken pathophysiology. Chemistry should have been a prerequisite for your nursing school. Statistics should have been a prerequisite for your BSN. Anatomy physiology should have been a prerequisite for your nursing school. My nursing school did not require chemistry, and I did not take pathophysiology in nursing school. I went to Keiser University. My first semester consisted of fundamentals pharmacology. My second semester consisted of maternal newborn and med-surg. My third semester consisted of med-surg 2 and pediatric. And then my fourth semester was roles, which was everything combined, and basically an NCLEX prep crash course. They want 1 full year of ICU experience by the time the program begins, cannot be ER or step down, cannot be neonatal only. They want a personal statement. They want a GRE score within the last 5 years, minimum combined verbal quantitative score of 292, and a minimum writing score of 3.0. They want 3 letters of recommendation from academics, clinicians, nursing faculty, supervisor, ACRNA, or physician anesthesiologist. Certifications: BLS is required, ACLS is required, PALS, pediatric life support, advanced life support is highly recommended, and CCRN is highly recommended. So this is definitely a lot. I wish I would have started studying for my CCRN a little bit prior to leaving my vascular ICU unit, my original hospital. They do reimburse people who pass their CCRN. CCRN is critical care registered nurse. It's a certification that you get once you've been a critical care nurse for 1,700 hours. It basically means you're skilled in the specialty. Before I left my previous hospital, I should have gone through my emails and downloaded all the CRE certifications that I did during my echo modules, and I should have downloaded my ACLS and BLS. Luckily, I was able to get a hold of American Heart Association, then RQI, and they had all my information. But it's just a tip that if you're going to move hospitals, make sure that you have everything downloaded, because you won't have access to your email anymore. So since I'm not in a hospital who might reimburse for my CCRN, and since I'm looking to go back into a critical care unit so that I can build those connections, I'm most likely just going to take the CCRN independently on my own through the ACRN website. And I like to show exactly where to find things because it's super helpful when somebody just directly shows you. You can go to the AACN website and create an account for free. Once you have a profile, you can go under certification, get certified. You're going to select CCRN adult. This one down here that says knowledge professional is for people who do not provide direct patient care. So we're going to do CCRN adult, eligibility, direct care eligibility pathway. We're going to apply. And then the best part is you can become a member and get your CCRN paid for less than just taking the CCRN. So I'm probably going to go with this option when I'm ready to schedule my exam. AACN I feel like has great benefits to becoming a member, but I'm just not entirely sure of what it entails. I just know that I'm going to save money by becoming a member for a year and paying for my CCRN.